Okay, today in my haste to make a video, I didn't realize I remade the hamburger stew video and I made 18-quart jars before it dawned on me that I already had made a video on hamburger stew. So what I have here is a lot of stuff that I've used up, some things I haven't, as you see. And I'm going to show you how Debbie makes her minestrone. Minestrone is very easy to make. It's a good hearty soup, and pretty much you can put any vegetable in it you want. It's going to can up for, it's going to cook for quite a while. You're just going to simmer it because you want that beautiful smell. I am using freeze-dried vegetables and I am using dehydrated. Today I'm going to be using different peppers that I dehydrated. And it's okay, it's going to be in the water long enough not to worry about it. I'm also going to use more of my portobello mushrooms, although I am going to use some of my freeze-dried mushrooms, just depends. They'll all rehydrate, everything's going to be good, but this is what you do with your little odds and ends. That's what minestrone's about. Don't let anybody kid you. Minestrone was just a way to use up leftovers. First, you always want to start with nice, clean jars. I'm just lazy, I guess. I run them through the dishwasher. If we're in an SHTF situation, I'll heat up the water, I'll wash my cans, I'll dry them properly. Okay, the only thing I'm going to say is that you really need a very, very good tomato base to your soup here. Okay, so here's your base. You're going to take 2/3 of a cup of tomato powder. 2/3 of a cup of tomato powder. Since I'm going to be using my food saver, all powders go to the bottom so they don't clog up everything. It will clog up, your food saver will clog up if you have a lot of powders on top, so don't go there. Alright, I'm going to use, so that's 2/3 of a cup of tomato powder. Now I'm going to use 1/3 of a cup. In this case, I'm going to use dehydrated onion. I love my dehydrated onion. I love my dehydrated tomato powder. Then I'm going to take I'm going to take 1 tablespoon and maybe a half more. So that'd be another teaspoon and a half of Italian seasoning. Alright, we like garlic, so I'm going to use a full heaping teaspoon of garlic granules. This is my recipe, so I can make it any way I want to. Now here's the neat thing. I also want to take a heaping teaspoon of beef bouillon. Why? Because I do. And this is the way I'm going to measure it. And this is the way I'm going to explain it. Minestrone is all your leftovers. Now, maybe I'm not supposed to say that. Maybe I'm supposed to make this into a great big gourmet experience. But this is what you do with your leftovers. And this is the way I do it. I've already washed my hand. I take a handful of beans, throw it in. I take a handful of freeze-dried vegetables, only because I like freeze-dried. But you know what? I use dehydrated too, because I dehydrate a lot. Okay? I'm going to throw in a few potatoes. Why? Because I just like to mix it up. Just a few, just throw them in there. I'm going to throw in some noodles. Everybody likes noodles in their minestrone, but I'm not going to get crazy. Okay? I want some mushrooms in there, so I'm going to make some mushrooms in there. Now you're going to notice that this minestrone is going to be a vegetarian one. Now what do I mean by vegetarian? Well, what I mean by vegetarian is no meat. I don't know if there's more connotations to being a vegetarian than no meat, But to me, vegetarian just means no meat. Alright, there we go. I got some mushrooms in there. What else could I use? Any vegetables at all. Here's some leftovers I have. It's a little mixture. I think it's other mushrooms. I'll put that in something else. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to put a little bit more beans in there. Those quick beans work really, really good. Okay, so now that's a vegetarian minestrone. Let me make one that's not vegetarian minestrone. Again, I'm going to take 2/3 of a cup of tomato powder. Am I exact? Anybody who knows me knows that's not going to happen. Okay, I'm going to take 1/3 of a cup of onion. I'm going to put that in there. The base is what's important. I'm going to take Italian seasoning. Hold on. Hi YouTube, this is my son Ben. Say hi, Ben.
How you doing?
Where you going, Ben?
Kuwait.
You're going to Kuwait.
Yep.
Oh, and you're leaving today.
Well, something like that, yeah.
A lot of good friends, Ben. They'll be wishing you well, I know, and saying lots of prayers, so don't you worry none, okay?
Thank you.
Alright, love you, baby.
Love you too.
Now, as I was saying, minestrone is pretty much what you have used and left over. Now, I'm showing you a dry canning method, so you always have some food on hand. But even though you would can this, let's say, doesn't mean you can't add anything to it. Now, you know how I am. I'm always adding things. So this is a basic recipe for you. That's 2/3 cup of tomato powder, 1/3 cup of dehydrated onion. You want to put more in, put more in. 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. I put in 1/2 to a tablespoon of garlic granules, and then I just add whatever I have. I'm going to throw some dehydrated peppers in. Why? Because I like them. My whole family likes them. I'm going to throw some of my leftover vegetables that I had. There's mushrooms, there's broccoli. You see how that is? And I am going to throw in some onion, because God's got to have onion. Okay, who doesn't want onion? And because it's minestrone, I'm going to add just a few noodles to make it look pretty and float around. And then, of course, when I make this, and I'm going to add 8 cups of water to this. When I make this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another handful of pasta in there. Again, you could use any kind of pasta. Today I have shells. So you can use any kind of pasta. Alright, now that's the second one. Let's make another one together. Hey, I'm getting into this. I'm just so thrilled. My son Ben got to come home and say goodbye. Say goodbye before he's going to leave. And that means the world to me. Thank you, Commander. You know, this is not my first son going over there. But that's okay. There's plenty of us in the same boat. Alright, I put in some beef broth, some garlic granules. I have 2/3 cup of my tomato powder. I'm going to take a nice big heaping tablespoon of Italian seasoning. I'm putting some more in. This time I'm going to put some meat in. Why? Because I sometimes like it. Well, I always like meat. We're meat eaters. But I realize that we're not always going to be able to have it. So I'm going to put some beef in. I put about 2/3 of a cup. And then I'm going to put about 1/2 cup of sausage. No, it's about 2/3 of a cup of sausage. Now that's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to take these leftover vegetables, which is mushrooms, peppers, broccoli, and I'm going to throw that in there. Because that's what minestrone is. Now just to trip it up a little bit, I'm going to throw some of my quick cooked beans, because, you know, you can do that. Alright, so I have beans in this one, I have vegetables, I have onions, garlic. I did. I'm going to throw a little more onion in. Never too much onion. It's sort of like garlic. Never too much onion. Now, I'm not going to put any pasta in this. But what I'm going to do, not a lot, but I'm going to throw some potato flakes in there. Use whatever potatoes you have. These are dehydrated potatoes. Most people eat them all the time in those mixes. They're very good. There you go. Now we have another one, minestrone. Do you see there are 3 different minestrones? Use your leftovers, but your base is the same. So let's do one more together. One more together. Why? Because I have one more jar left. 2/3 of a cup of tomato powder. Okay. I'm going to use some beef bouillon. Now, people ask me, Deb, don't you put salt in yours? I really don't, because when it's cooking, I'll have more than enough time. Here's garlic granules. I'll have more than enough time to put in salt. I'd rather it be less salty than more salty. Alright, I have a little bit leftover vegetables. Throw them in. There you go. Now I'm done with that jar. Something I don't have to store anymore. I'm going to take some beans. I'm going to throw that in there. Minestrone is well known for beans, so why not throw that in there? I'm going to use some of those portobello mushrooms again. Now, portobello mushrooms are very good when they're rehydrated. They're the simplest things to dehydrate. You just cut them, stick them on the screens, and let all the moisture go out of them. They're a little chewy, but you know what? I like a little chewy. There's nothing wrong with that. My kids like a little chewy. So we go ahead and I just smash it down. It's not a big deal. And then I'm going to take some freeze-dried vegetables, but again, you can use dehydrated vegetables. My minestrone recipe is ultra cool like that. You can just trip it up the way you want it, okay? And then I think I did, sometimes it's better if you pay attention what you're doing. I'm putting in more Italian seasoning just because I want to. I am going to throw in some freeze-dried hamburger on this one. And you know what? I'm not going to put noodles, and I'm not going to put potatoes in this. I'm just going to leave it like this. So to be sort of like an Italian soup. Just a nice Italian soup base. So you see 3. Potatoes, pasta and potatoes, and no potatoes, no pasta. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you. It's all about taking a recipe and making it your own.